Hello and welcome to Bomb Squad, a PlayStation podcast by In Dreams Club. My name is Andrew Muggleton and I am joined as always by my wonderful, lovely, beautiful, darling co-host Chris Sloan. How are you?
That was the nicest intro I think you've ever given me. That was,
I know.
Wow, thanks, mate.
Well,
yeah, I'm okay.
I've had a couple of beers today, so don't expect it every time.
I've actually bought myself a new water bottle because I didn't have enough water bottles.
That is large.
Yeah, but do you know what? That's not actually my biggest one. My biggest one's at work. This is a 40 ounce or 1.182 milliliters water bottle. But the one I've got at work that's actually still at work at the moment is
Don't tell me it's a 2 litre.
It's 1.98 milliliters because it's like an American brand, I think. So it's all in ounces.
Yeah.
But I love them. It's clean canteen. That brand loyalty going on here.
Hashtag ad. Hashtag
Yeah,
sponsor.
no, that'd be lovely actually. Yeah, I just feel I've not been drinking enough water. Like when I'm at work and going into work every day, I drink so much. I drink at least 2 litres. The reason I've got that massive water bottle is because our tap in our office where we fill up our water from, it doesn't work at certain times of the day. So like if you're like rushing, you need to get some water. Sometimes you just can't. So I just fill it up in the morning, and then I know if I finish it at the end of the day, I've drunk 2 litres. There we go.
Yeah, exactly. Result. Result.
It's not with me at the moment, so
that's a real shame. That is a real shame. But what I'm right in thinking, did you go out for a walk recently? I've been wanting to ask you this for a little while. Did you go for a walk last night?
I go for a walk every day in lockdown.
Was your walk last night more interesting than normal?
Well, how do you mean? I'm not sure what you're getting at.
I feel like I've heard a little birdie say that you got caught short.
Oh, mate, I tell you what, I've been going for walks, and like most time it's fine. You should go out for a walk. Sometimes I've been like tracking them using the Fitbit. You see how many kilometers you're walking at.
Yeah.
And what I did was I've been trying to walk like the whole perimeter of the towns near me. Like I did the whole perimeter of Sunbury the other day, and it was really cool. And I thought I'll do the whole perimeter of Ashford as well, because I kind of live on the border between them, so it works out quite nicely. And I got round to near Feltham Young Offenders. There's this huge open like ground, like waste ground kind of thing, like park with that's got a thing around the outside. And I just had this feeling, you know, when you just have this feeling where you're like, oh man, like I need the toilet so bad. And obviously, like, you know, we're blokes. If you're out on a walk, you need a wee, you could probably just like find a tree. You know? Not that I'm condoning that or anything, but this was not a wee. Yeah. And so I was like, oh my goodness. I think I'd walked like 3.5 kilometers. That's how far from home I was. Yeah.
Okay.
And I was
not an easy amount of distance to make up if you're desperate.
No, and also I've got like a bad knee, so I wouldn't be able to like jog or anything. Like,
which you wouldn't want to do in that circumstance anyway.
No. So I was like, oh, I don't know what to do. So I started ringing my wife because I was like, maybe she can like come and pick me up and take me home. But before I went out, she was like, oh, I'm gonna like have a shower and wash my hair. And honestly, when she has a shower and wash her hair, it's like that's like an hour and a half gone.
Yeah.
So I rang her like 2 or 3 times, and there was no answer. And I was like, oh my goodness, this isn't good. So I went into the park, like found a little there's kind of like a ditch to the side where there's loads of trees and bushes and that, and I just went for it. I had to.
Yeah. Okay. And how was the talk me through how it finished, how like you how this whole thing finished.
Well, there was like, because obviously, you know, I wasn't walking with toilet paper. Like, But I there was some big leaves. There was some big leaves.
So they were used.
I just pulled a few. And do you know what? Actually, really good.
Really?
You know, I walked. Yeah, and I walked. Obviously, it wasn't. You know, I just walked home afterwards. I carried on and ended up being like a sort of maybe like 5-6K walk.
Nice.
And you know, when I got home, had a shower.
Yeah.
It was, you know, it was fine.
What I find interesting about this, when I first heard that this potentially had happened, this rumor about your walk, was that this seems to be becoming a bit of a thing. I feel.
Oh,
because this has happened before.
I mean, I don't want to talk about well before. We'll save that. But what I will say is that a couple of the walks that I've been, because I've literally walked every single day since lockdown, so probably like 8 weeks or something, whatever it is. Yeah. And there's been a couple, like normally absolutely fine, but there's been like 3 or 4 times where I've got out and 20 minutes later I'm like, damn, like I really need the toilet, and I've had to like get home and like you get home and you just about make it, and I knew I just knew there was going to be a time where it wasn't happening.
You need to be planning your either your toilet activity or your walks better.
Well, the problem was it's because I had this plan of doing these big walks like around the like normally, because when this was happening before and I was getting home all right, I decided I'm just going to walk sort of like circuits near my house. That if at any point I did need to get home, I could be home in 10 minutes tops.
Yeah.
And usually I think I'm pretty good at like holding my bowels at bay. But I don't know what's happened. This lockdown's just shaking my confidence. I've got to be honest with you. I'm worried about leaving the house.
So you should be based off your last walk. No, that's good stuff.
But actually, I went out for a walk this morning, and I was absolutely.
Oh God! Don't tell me you did it again.
No, I didn't go. I didn't do it again, but I went out. I went out this morning, absolutely fine. I might even go out again this evening.
Wow,
but we're having fish tacos for dinner. So.
No. Okay, I'm looking forward to hearing more rumors.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I'm glad I've got the full story of that now.
So am I.
Should we talk about some sort of games?
Yeah, what we do? Should we talk about what we've been playing this week?
I reckon so. Yeah, I'll go first. I haven't really played that much since last week, and the reason being, I'm sure you will know what I mean, and if you're listening, you may know as well if you've experienced this before. But sometimes after you finish a game where you have just been completely enamored or completely like engulfed in it, you kind of get those games blues, and I think I had that a bit with the Outer Wilds after I finished it. I'm sure you maybe had the same, maybe similar for Final Fantasy VII Remake. But after this, like I've got this list of games that I want to get done, and I've been working my way through them, and it's going to be really well. But after this was the first game I've really adored since starting that list, and I didn't know what to do. I thought maybe I should jump back into it, and then I was like, no, I think I'm done with the game. But then I didn't want to play anything else because I was so committed and consumed by that game. So it's been a bit of a struggle getting back into games. But I did start Prey, which is the game by Arcane. Are they called Arcane Studios? Yeah, Arcane Studios, who are most known for Dishonored 1 and 2. And it's 2017. It's kind of like a soft reboot of the whole franchise, because there was a Prey game in the early mid 2000s, and then this was meant to be like number 2, but then it just turned into something just completely new, just with some overriding kind of ideas of what Prey is. But yeah, done the first kind of maybe 2 or 3 hours of that, and I am very intrigued. I'm not going to say I'm hooked yet, but it has in the first hour, it has a pretty nice little bait and switch that happens, and a bit of a twist that happens. And I went in initially thinking, oh, this is a sci-fi game. And then this thing happens, and I was like, okay, maybe there's more to this than I'm just giving it credit for. But so far, pretty cool. It's a sci-fi game. I can't really say too much more about the storyline because of what that switch is and that kind of twist. But it's it very feels. I remember people saying that Prey was meant to be kind of like BioShock in space. So if you put BioShock in space, and it really does feel like that. There's audio diaries. You have a wrench as your main weapon. There's lots of similar themes to it as well, and you can go rummaging through bins to find stuff. There are lots of similarities to it. But it does feel like that as well, which is a good thing, and also slightly like, oh, this does just feel like BioShock in space. But I'm hoping as I get further into it, it will take on its own identity a bit more. But so far, I've picked up my first gun, and it's called the glue
Okay.
gun, and it's pretty wicked. You basically shoot out bits of glue, which then turn into like rock when they hit a surface, and you can shoot the little enemies in it, and it like sticks them in place, or you can build a wall in front of you and stuff. So it's quite a cool idea as the first like gun, even though it's not actually an aggressive gun, as it were.
Can you use it to like? Do you like shoot it and shoot things with it, and then hit it with the wrench, and they like?
Yes, exactly. They blow up into pieces. Yeah, so you shoot them like a couple of times, and it will slow them down and kind of stick them in place, or you can shoot them once and it will just slow them down, or I think you can hold it down, it will do a stream. So if you really want, you could just build like a bit of a wall in front of you and then run away if you're really low on health or something. But so far, very cool idea, and the setting is really, really cool feeling. So I've been enjoying that. And the other thing I played last night was, which I can't believe I haven't played sooner, was the Stanley Parable, which I played on computer, but it is actually coming out on PS4, I think, this year.
It?
So
cool.
yeah.
I'll probably buy that again.
Yeah, I think it's called like Stanley Parable Remix or something like that, and it's going to have some new extra endings to it.
Oh, cool.
Which I played it for about probably 2.5 hours last night, and I looked up toward the end of my playtime of the endings of the game, because it's the kind of game where you play and you kind of play it several times to get different variations of endings. And I saw about of the 12 I think there are, I saw about 6 or 7 of them naturally, and then I seeked out a kind of another 2 or 3 of them, and there were 1 or 2 that I just left.
I love that game. There's so many of the sort of things that you'd like. Am I right saying it's the one where there's like the voiceover, the narration going on?
Yeah, there's a guy talking to you, everything you're doing.
And it's like, he took the left door to go through here, and then you just like walk through the right door, and he's like, oh, he decided to rebel today, and it's so clever. How
Stanley decided he didn't want to go to the left door, because if he took the right door, it would take him to the staff restroom, and he was really interested in looking at the staff restroom. You get stuff in, and Stanley walked in through and admired it. What a beautiful room this was. And then he took the next door on the left. And it's kind of like it's like forcing you to do what it does, or you go against what he says.
I might actually replay that. I think I've still got it on Steam somewhere. But I might wait till PlayStation if it's coming out.
Yes, yeah. They said it was meant to be last year, but I think there was a bit of a delay. So they said at some point they were hoping for first half of this year. I imagine with the whole coronavirus situation, maybe it'll be kind of summertime or so. But yeah, I was
one of the endings you like jump out the window, like right at the beginning.
Yes,
there's a
yeah, absolutely. The way you jump out, and he's just like the narrator's like, and he thought he would find a new life kind of through jumping, but actually it just continues as it was or something. Yeah, it's really, really funny, very really quirky, very clever, and it's a couple of times I've had it with this and Her Story and Return of the Obra Dinn, in that they are games you play, and I think to myself, if I was a game maker, I wish I had made this. I wish I had come up with this idea. This is such a clever idea. And
did you mention Obra Dinn there? Sorry.
Yes, I did.
Her
Story, this, Obra Dinn. I've really felt that with. If I think, I want to make a game, and I'm like, what could I do? Oh, something like Stanley Parable. I'm like, no, they did that. They got there first. They were the one that thought of that. It's just so clever in how it does everything and how it plays with you. It
reminds me of the writing of games like Portal or Thomas Was Alone. That's sort of the narration style of it. So clever.
Very, very witty written comedy and sarcastic kind of feeling.
Yes.
Very similar to Portal. Very, Thomas Was Alone, another great example there. Really enjoyed it though. Would hugely recommend it. Nice little short game, but very rewarding as well. So what have you been playing?
To be honest, not a lot that I haven't talked about before, but a couple of things like so A Plague Tale. I played. I don't know. I'm on chapter 4, I think. I wanted to get chapter 4 done, but I don't think I will do today. But I think chapter 3 is when you go to like a monastery. And there's all the rats. Grim,
that's your first like proper interaction with rats, isn't it? Because you've had them at the beginning of the game. Wait, no. Yeah. Did you even see them at the beginning? Maybe, I'm not sure.
Well, there's this sort of weird black hole in the ground, and it kills your dog.
Yeah. Spoilers.
But sorry.
To be fair, that is the first 15 minutes of the game.
Yeah. And no, it's just horrible, man. It's like they, you're obviously just going through it because I think we mentioned before, it's just like a stealth puzzle game, really. I think.
Yeah.
As far as I've seen.
It will. I think in the next, from what I briefly looked at, I think it's the next 2 chapters or so. It turns from a stealth game into a action stealth game style thing.
Okay.
There's a lot more action related stuff that begins to see, which is the core of the game. But certainly this beginning sections are the stealthy kind of aspect of it.
Yeah, I was playing that, and I think my wife came in halfway through that bit, and obviously you end up, you're protecting Hugo going through, and I like the ending of it. You basically go down, don't you, into the crypt, and the walls are all black, and
there's a bit of a set piece as well where you run.
Yeah, well, you come out, and then there's the sort of a little tunnel, and there's the light at the end of the tunnel that you run to. And I looked at when you get out, there's no rats. It's just this kind of tunnel leading out to the outside.
Yeah.
And I just, as the little cutscene was going of Amisa and Hugo climbing, I just looked at my iPhone and I was like, I'm going to be sprinting down this tunnel in a second. And she was like, what? And I was like, look. And then she was reading her book, and she was like, oh, right, yeah, okay. There's rats just poured out the wall. And she's like, what the hell kind of game is this?
The rats are so funny in that game, in that they're rats, but they're more than that. They're this hive mind, just overflowing liquid of rats kind of.
Yeah, they're grim. I wanted to kind of see what happened when I died. I didn't die, but I think I strayed onto them slightly, and they Amicia was let out a little scream or something, and I was like, oh shit.
You can have, it's the kind of thing where you can begin to be touched by them, but not overwhelmed. If you do get overwhelmed, then you will die, and you will see that happen. So don't worry.
Yeah. So again, literally one more chapter of that. I like I mentioned last time, I talked for bloody ages about Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I did cave, and I jumped back in.
Nice.
I just wanted to, because I am quite tempted to go for the platinum trophy in it, and you have to complete it on hard mode. So I basically went in and started just clearing up a couple of trophies that I missed. I did the bike one where you have to get a compliment from her.
Yeah. What does that involve, by the way?
Well, basically, you just do it, and you have to end with at least 80% health.
Oh, I see. I assumed it'd be something like that, but I wasn't fully sure.
It took me, I think, probably 4 or 5 goes, and I sort of looked up because I didn't realize you can block. It does say it on the screen, but you can block on it.
Those bike scenes, there are so many extra things that I had no idea you could do whilst I was playing it.
Like the far away shot as well, where you hold down L1 and he shoots a thing out of his sword.
I found that so annoying because I saw that it says L1 to do long shot, and I was holding it and clicking it and doing it, but you have to press another button whilst doing that. And I was
L1 and then triangle.
Why won't it do the long shot? Why won't it do it? And it was so confused. But then
it's because it uses the same. It uses the same cooldown bar as the triangle spinning attack.
Yes. You're right.
But it took me 4 or 5 goes, and I did it. Also, I've been going back, and because basically you have to do a lot of the combat challenges. You don't have to for a trophy, but eventually you have to unlock the harder bosses, and to do that you have to have completed them.
Yeah.
And what I did was I stuck the game down to easy. Did you play on normal? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played on normal as well. Easy. Oh my goodness, things just drop.
Is it
things
just a walkover?
Down. Yeah, it's crazy. Because I normally like to play games on easy because I'm not that bothered about getting stressed out. I'm dying and stuff. But I played it on normal for my real playthrough. But I went on to easy for a lot of the common things. It was nuts. I remember certain things, certain enemies when they come in and just stressing out, and then it was just easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so just setting myself up to maybe go on and play hard. And to do that, you have to have a lot of materia maxed out. So leveling them up is going to be.
You get back into the kind of grinding aspect of it, where making sure you've got those max materia levels and stuff.
Yeah, and just going through, picking stuff up that I missed, stuff like that. So yeah. But yeah, the other thing I played, and I guess we can just do this now. I can't. I think you said you've got something for this properly, but so this week in Dreams, because I literally just played. I literally just played like an hour of Dreams just now, because I thought, oh, why not? And so what I did was, whenever I get into Dreams, I go up to. You can search people's dreams via the tags. So the tags are kind of like the genre of game. So you can do a tag where it's like platforming, first-person shooter, just like a still image or art or whatever. So I searched it for comedy. Yeah, there's a comedy. So I said comedy, and then a lot of them are just still images. So I put comedy and then a game instead of that. And I played 3 things, right?
Okay.
First one was called The Enormous Winter Slide of Destiny. Okay. You load this up and it says, oh, can you go down the slide and get the epic score of 4,000 points? And you're just this weird little man going down a slide. You go left and right and you hit these things to get points. At first I didn't realise that, and I was trying to avoid them. But yeah, still managed to get like 2,700 points. So I was quite pleased with that.
Good play.
It was quite good, quite silly. By Radman Rob is the person who made it. Then it got a little bit weirder. So that was kind of like normal. I was like, oh, that's quite cool. They just made a big slide and it's quite funny. There's a big clown face at the end of it and stuff. So yeah. Then I played a game called Corona Defend. Okay. And corona, literally meaning coronavirus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what the game is, it says you have like character select at the beginning, but you don't yet. The second character still hasn't been fully made. But you play as Donald Trump. The other character that's being made is Boris Johnson. And you come out onto, I think, the front lawn of the White House.
Yeah.
And you've got a big gun that shoots out toilet rolls.
Okay.
And all the whole time, the audio is My Sharona being played, and then occasional like sound bites from like dumb things Donald Trump has said.
Yeah,
and then these huge coronavirus blobs just start like appearing, and you shoot them with the toilet rolls. And
amazing.
There's two other bits where you can go on the wall. There's like a picture of an alien, and you get like UFO help. And then there's another bit that says, it's called extraterrestrial support. And then the other one is a picture of a sombrero, and it's called Mexican support. And you go up to it, and Donald Trump goes, you just made the wall 6 feet higher, which is an actual soundbite from him. And then these little walls appear all in the front garden. There's a bit around the side where you go up this elevator, and then at the top of the White House is this big red button that says "Do not press," and you press it, and then there's like a nuclear explosion that ends the whole game.
Oh lordy lord!
So that was by Joey Dyer. Yeah. on in Dreams. That wasn't the craziest thing I played. Because the last thing I played was called Kermit's Quest for Depression. So it is Kermit the Frog. And the kind of like the you know how it tells you like what the game is. There's like a little few sentences they can write about it. So this is literally you're playing as Kermit the Frog who wants to kill himself. He wants to commit suicide. Yeah,
right.
That's the joke.
I'm with you. Yeah.
But basically you start off on this little island, and then inside a hut is Isabel from Animal Crossing. Yeah.
I know who you're talking about.
And she says, oh, Kermit, you want to commit suicide, don't you? Just go through this portal. So basically each area has like a portal you've got to get to go through to the next one.
Right.
So you go through that, and then you're in a big Minecraft village. What are those things that you can like kill that are kind of peaceful and they just sort of stand there, like villagers or something?
Yeah, the village.
The villagers.
Yeah, they make little funny noises. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're in there, but they're huge. They're like enormous. Okay. And you wander around, and eventually there's what's the Minecraft guy's name? Is it like Steve?
Steve, I think.
Yeah.
Michael Sam.
Steve's
or
there.
Steve
or Sam.
I think Steve. Is it Sam Minecraft?
I can't remember. But he's there, and he basically says, you have to go through and like kill a god or something in order to beat it, and you go through a portal that looks like a nether portal.
No, it is Steve. It's Steve.
It is Steve.
Yeah.
So you go through there, then you come into a world and the Toy Story music starts, and Woody's there and says you've got to get up to Buzz, and he'll tell you what to do. So you do a little platform bit, and you get to Buzz. You go through a door. Then you're in a land made of cheese with Wallace and Gromit, with the Wallace and Gromit music playing. Wallace is there T-posing. Then you have to do more platforming to get up to Gromit, and there's a portal there. By the way, platforming in Dreams just makes me want to kill myself, man. And that might be good for this Kermit. Then you leave there and you find Quagmire from what is that show?
Quagmire.
Family Guy. That's it.
Oh yeah.
And then you end up you do a bit, you go to a portal, and then he tells you to get onto his bed. So you jump onto his bed, and then you go into this huge dark thing where Quagmire's there, massive, and you have to escape and go through a portal. Then through this portal, there's a load of people flossing and Fortnite dancing with the Fortnite music. Then you go through and there's a Super Mario about you jump into a pipe with the Super Mario music. Then you're into a tiny little section with a huge demon while the Doom music is playing. And then you eventually end up on this cloud where... Oh no, sorry. Then you find a place and then Kermit jumps off a tall building.
Okay.
And then you end up on a cloud with... Do you know Pepe the Frog?
Yeah.
With him and Kermit just dancing. Literally for 5 minutes, which I sat and watched the whole thing of.
Incredible.
Yeah. I mean, honestly... Dreams
knows no boundaries for creativity.
Like I said, it is a hellscape, Dreams.
Yeah.
There is some crazy stuff. I don't know what I'm assuming there's no real moderation in terms of what...
No, I think there is some I'm sure there's some aspect of it, but it's quite loose.
Yeah.
The copy strikes must start coming in thick and fast at some point.
Yeah, especially that sort of thing where it's just going through, Animal Crossing, Super Mario, Minecraft. It's so funny. But I'd say what I will say, the Donald Trump, the Corona Defend one, the person who made that Donald Trump is an absolute genius because it looks so good. It's not a really bad looking thing, but
amazing.
So silly.
Amazing. Well, I did also have something to talk about.
Sorry, Kermit's question impression is by AE_Rose_Dreams, just in case you want to go and play that.
Cool. I have something to say as well, which is a thing called Mystic Valley. This one less comic.
I think this is the real This Week in Dreams, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the real in Dreams. No, absolutely no. But everything should be plauded.
Okay, cool.
Dreams is an open platform for us to experience whatever we want. I played a little thing called Mystic Valley, which again, it's not. I hesitate to really even say it's a game. It's more of an experience. You're kind of just walking through these kind of jungle scenes, and you're kind of getting from one side to the other type of thing. But it was very impressive in terms of the visuals and the sound effects and things like that. And it was just a really nice experience to go through. And again, one of those dreams where you see and you're like, wow, I can't believe you've done this in a game on a PS4 type of thing. By all means, it doesn't hold up to a AAA game or anything, but it still looks very pretty. And I would love to see where this goes down the line. A great proof of concept type of thing. The water effects now I thought were really nice. Again, you can tell it's that kind of Dreams paintbrushy style stroke, but they did a really good job of making waterfalls and things like that look pretty convincing. And that was by a guy called Chris_Red Walker 6. And yeah, I thought it was just a very nice looking and then kind of quite impressive looking dream with that. So awesome. Yeah, that's This Week in Dreams. A few more things than normal in there.
Well, I might play a bit more of it because it's something you can absolutely just dip in and not play for half an hour.
Absolutely, it's such a great game to just dip in and out of, just experience something, whether it's funny, whether it's stupid, whether it's intense or whatever. It's still a very impressive and cool game for sure. I just wanted to bring up one more point before I mentioned a couple of news items was
Yeah.
the two games that we've both really enjoyed recently, which was the Outer Wilds and Final Fantasy VII Remake. Both of them I've got an issue with, okay? For being stingy with trophies. And what I'm talking about is finishing the game trophy. Final Fantasy VII Remake is a bronze. Now, that's unacceptable, okay?
Because that's just a finishing a chapter, isn't it? Not like the whole... you don't even get a finishing the whole game.
No, you just get the chapter 18, is it? Is it 18 chapters?
Yeah.
You get that as a bronze. And, okay, so that's stingy. And we've spoken about this a lot. Chris and I are very much in agreement.
We did it on Trophy Wife like a couple of episodes ago, didn't we? We said about, ending the trophy. You should get a gold trophy.
A gold trophy. You finish the game, okay? Come on. Be generous. Do you know something that's even worse than giving a bronze trophy for finishing the game? No trophy. And that's what the fucking Outer Wilds does. It's unacceptable.
Really?
Unacceptable. Now,
I don't get it.
It has quite a liberal trophy list in other things and in simple things to do to get silver and gold trophies. And maybe it kind of defeats the point of what you're doing in the game, but you don't get a trophy for actually finishing the game. And I don't think that's right. So in my review, my official review, 6.5.
Yeah, you can't. So 7 out of 10 is the lowest good score. Yeah, we're all agreed on that.
Yeah. Anything under 7 is don't bother playing it.
Shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't get 7 out of 10 unless you have a gold trophy for finishing the game. Is that the rule?
I think so. So Outer Wilds, actually, I'll drop down to 6 because it didn't even. I thought the game was phenomenal, and it might even be in my top 5 games of all time. I adore that game. However, no trophy for finishing. 6 out of 10. Final Fantasy VII Remake. You think it's one of the best games you've played? Maybe the best game of this year. You don't know if anything will beat it, but sorry, bronze trophy finishing.
I would drop that down to a 14 out of 10 for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I remember it was 15 last week, so that's fine.
Yeah, it was 15.
Right, I've got a couple of.
Why did you bring that up? Was there a reason for bringing that up?
I brought it up because you were talking about Final Fantasy a minute before the dreams bit, and it struck a note in my head that I needed to mention this, and I needed to get angry about this. But we do have a few news articles to talk about, and the main one we're going to talk about is the Xbox event that just happened. Where it was revealing new games, but I think that's going to be our second half part of the podcast. That'll be our main conversation point. So the other couple of things I wanted to mention was that The Last of Us 2 has a new story trailer. It just came out.
Oh, yeah.
And
what do you think? Did you like the trailer? We didn't really talk about it.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah,
I absolutely loved it.
Really cool trailer.
I think it's probably my favorite thematic trailer they've done so far. In terms of, obviously it was cool seeing the first one, it was cool seeing the gameplay and stuff like that, but this felt like it was like, right, I get where they're going with this game. Like I get the themes, I feel it. So I loved it. So excited. I toyed with the idea of looking at some of the leaks and stuff, but
did you?
I haven't looked at anything, and I'm not going to. And just from what I've seen, I'm so excited to see where this game goes.
Yeah, man, I love that trailer. I thought that trailer was so good. I watched it once when it came out, and I've not watched it again. But just like the shots towards the end, and like hearing Joel's voiceover and stuff like that, man, it's I've been really super bummed out because of you said you haven't seen the leaks. I have seen the leaks.
Yeah.
I can't remember because I think the leaks all happened, and then I was on Reddit, and then. Thing is, people have been like spamming leaks everywhere. Like if you on Twitter, if you like click on a Naughty Dog tweet or something like that, or it's just automatically someone in the responses will have spoilt the whole game.
Yeah.
Or well, not spoilt the whole game, but spoilt the some of the story beats that happen. Yeah. And I don't know, man. I went from being super bummed out and a little bit kind of upset to now just being a little bit pissed off with it at the idea of like. What the hell is wrong with, like, firstly, someone's leaked it, and for whatever reasons, Sony have come out and said it was just a hackers managed to hack something, whatever, whether that's true or not, whatever. Total dick move. But then the idea that someone would then go onto Reddit, find out someone's. So on Reddit, sometimes you can see what Reddit's people are subscribed to and post in.
Sure.
And people literally were finding like just random people who were subscribed to The Last of Us or The Last of Us 2 subreddit and just PMing them all the plot points.
That is so stupid.
Yeah, and like people were trying to justify it by saying, "Oh, the leaks are really bad. This game's going to be so bad," and they were trying to justify it in terms of saying that they're trying to like stop people from spending money on it. Just what a mass! Like honestly, you must have no life at all if you think you can.
Exactly.
So if you're someone who's like leaked that for someone, fuck yourself, basically. Really, I just got super angry like in the last couple of days about it. I was just kind of upset that it leaked, but then I just got kind of pissed off. And I think Neil Druckmann put a video out a few days ago, kind of talking about the new release date and kind of touched upon the leaks a little bit in it and saying about how it's at the end of the day it's a piece of art that you play. Like if someone sat down and told you a spoiler for I don't know what's it, like The Prestige or I'm trying to think what's a famous film with a twist.
Shutter Island.
Sixth Sense, Shutter Island. If someone sat down and told you the spoiler, it might ruin it. They're still good films in themselves, but that might actually ruin it. But a game, I don't think you can spoil in the same way.
Yeah,
because it's something you have to sit and you have to get immersed in and play. So it just kind of annoyed me. Troy Baker put a really cool tweet out. I don't know if you follow Troy Baker.
I saw it. Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah. So I would say go and look at it, but don't because the responses are just full of spoilers. So
definitely. I don't like. I'm super still intrigued to see what has caused all this kerfuffle in terms of the story beats that happened, and I've always had issues with The Last of Us, but also absolutely adore it and think it's one of the best games of all time. Like we said, it was the best game of this decade.
We've talked about it loads.
We've talked about it, and so I'm always intrigued to see what they're doing with it. But
I think part of my without wanting to, I'm not spoiling anything at all. But what people are pissed off with is really fucking lame, and I think when you see what it is, it's going to be quite disappointing in terms of looking at the people who are upset by it. But yeah.
Sure. So we've got that to look forward to in a month. All the rage on the internet in a month.
I'm just gonna. Do you know what? I'm gonna when we've done this, I'm gonna go and pre-order it just as just because why not?
Absolutely. So that happens. Exciting stuff. Go check it out. Really cool trailer. They've always made great trailers, so this is no exception here. We've got a bit of an update as well for the Summer Games Fest, Jeff Keighley's 4-month-long games festival thing that we spoke on the last episode about, and it's come into a bit more clarity about what that's actually going to be. So if you go on the website summergamesfest.com, there is a calendar, and you can go by May, June, July, August, and in there it has a couple of events basically where you can add them to your calendar from there, or you can watch along the stream on the website. So it seems like it's basically going to be a hosting site for all of these gaming events that would normally be happening over the summer. So, for example, the Xbox first look at Xbox Series X gameplay of third-party games was for us. It was yesterday, so on the 7th of May, and I think Jeff Keighley did a little introduction, and they hosted the stream on there. Obviously you can go on YouTube and Twitch and other places to watch it, but they have it on the site as well, so it looks like it's going to be this kind of hub for everything. But some of the more exciting aspects are for example, on the 12th of May, which if you're listening to this it might have already passed, but he's got something here called the Sunrise #1, and it says join Jeff Keighley for a surprise game reveal. So I think it's going to be this expanded kind of thing where we're maybe going to see new game reveals, maybe exclusive gameplay or looks at games, interviews, demos, things like that, along with hosting all of these big events. Like, for example, at the end in August, Gamescom is August 24th, and they've said that that's not going to be happening in person because of coronavirus. But you've got on this website, you've got the Gamescom opening night live with Jeff Keighley teams up with Gamescom to host this spectacular industry-wide finale to SGF, so to the festival. So that's basically closing this festival. So I think if E3 was around and or if Jeff Keighley hadn't had a bit of a parting from E3, that's the kind of thing you would have expected to be under this banner almost. That kind of thing. I think in June, my website decided to go funny. In June, you've got Steam Game Festival, so you can play loads of games that are upcoming and aren't actually out yet. I'm very looking forward to on June the 11th. There's Night City Wire, which is Cyberpunk 2077. So it's going to be a special broadcast from CD Projekt Red about the game. So I imagine that's going to be our next kind of big gameplay story dump from that game. You've got EA Play as well on the same day. So it'll probably be EA's version of E3 instead. And then,
do you know what? I'm kind of excited by that. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of sports games, I assume.
Yeah,
in there, maybe, I guess. But yeah, there could be some cool stuff in there.
Yeah, more. Hopefully, maybe we'll see something from Dragon Age.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, man. Maybe. I think that game's gonna be a super long way off still, but maybe it'd be cool to see something.
Yeah, was it this Video Game Awards where we got the teaser, or was it last year?
I think it was last year.
The year before. So it's been a year and a bit anyway.
I think just before that, or was it just? I think it was like just around then. Everything was like cancelled in terms of Dragon Age, and because it was around the time of like Andromeda just totally bombing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mass Effect.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I think the BioWare just and obviously then Anthem, like they're on such a bad run, man. But I think it was around then, and we got that little tease of
December 2018.
Was it? Yeah. So like a tease of what the what was it called? It was like Wolf something. There was like a hashtag with it, wasn't there?
Yeah. Let me try and find that for you.
Which is linked to a specific character in Dragon Age lore. But yeah. Yeah. So I think that game might be like still maybe a couple of years off, but it'd be cool to see something. Actually, do you know what? Because EA are quite good at showing like what teams are working on, aren't they? I remember they did that a lot with Battlefront or Battlefront 2. And
yeah, they did that for a while. So hopefully they'll continue that. It was hashtag the Dread Wolf Rises.
Yes, that's it. The Dread Wolf Rises. Man.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll see some things there, which would be cool. And then I think July so far only one thing in there, which is to do with Digital Extremes, who the guys that make Warframe, just updating on what's next for Warframe. But I imagine this will continue to get fleshed out over the coming weeks. I know they've said like pretty much every developer's in being part of it, so I'm sure we'll get maybe when the PlayStation PS5 kind of reveal or something, that will probably be part of this, like hosted under here or something like that. So hopefully we'll see more soon on that. But I think that's about it that I had for news. I don't think was there anything else you wanted to say on the Summer Game Fest at all?
I don't think so. It's just cool. I've just been on the website as well. It's really cool how it's all set out.
It's a really cool,
happen.
Absolutely, yeah. And I'm excited to see what this on May 12th, what this surprise game reveal is like. Yeah. Jeff Keighley's got serious connections, so it could be just a small indie game from a tiny team because he loves going across the whole kind of broad of width of gaming. But he also has the power to, for example, at his own Game Awards, show off the new Xbox. So like, I don't think nothing's out of the question for this. Could be, yeah. Well, we'll talk about it later on. Absolutely. So at this point, then, let's take a pause. We've been recording for like 40 odd minutes. I think it's time to play a game. And yes. I felt like it's been a couple of weeks or a couple of episodes since we've done a little review bomb game. So brilliant, love it. I've got 5 games here, okay, and I'm going to read out some 0 out of 10 reviews from Metacritic from the user reviews, and I want you to guess what they are. Cool. This time, I'm actually not going to tell you the year the game came out because I think that could be I think that helps you quite a lot whenever I say that.
Okay.
So I need to make it a little tricky, you know?
What if like I'm really struggling? Can I have that as like a lifeline?
Yeah, okay. I'll give you a lifeline
Right.
if you're really struggling. Some of these, I think you're going to get straight away, okay?
Cool. All right.
Because this is sometimes it's just for the comedic value. So, first of all, 0 out of 10. This is not a remake. It's a travesty. Most reviews are from people who did not finish the game. The ending and the upcoming games are an insult to fans. Do yourself a favour and ignore this game exists. It looks nice. It does many things right. But it fucks up everything and spits in the face of the law. 0 out of 10.
I think it's Final Fantasy VII Remake.
You're wrong. No, you're right. Actually, of course of course you're right. Of course you're right. Of course you're right. And remember, I read these with punctuation as it is. Yeah. Okay, 1 out of 1. Well done. Good start.
Nice.
Okay. One of the worst games I've ever played. Do not waste your money. Not only is it buggy and glitched to the point of being nearly unplayable, the mechanisms are absolutely abysmal and challenge level is broken. It makes you start with a highway truck on muddy roads. How is that realistic in any universe? Controller vibration is almost non-existent, and I've spent most of my gameplay stuck in mud, holding the gas button without feeling like anything is happening. The hint system tells you the same thing over and over again, making you feel like you're always doing something wrong. The world is completely dead, and there are no other cars on the road. There are no redeeming factors here. Don't waste your money. 0 out of 10.
Ooh.
No, I need to specify this one line here.
Oh, go on.
Which is just the world is caps locks completely dead, and there are no other cards on the road, as in like playing cards. Might have been a typo.
It could be a spelling mistake. Yeah.
It could be. Probably is.
So you start with a truck and you're like stuck in mud. I was thinking I was going along like a sort of farming thing at that point, but then would there be other cars like? I did say last time that I was going to try and play a lot of Farming Simulator, but I haven't. I've got to be honest, I haven't. I'll guess that though. Farming Simulator 19, I guess, is my guess.
You know what? It's not actually. It's SnowRunner, released April 28th, 2020. Just 2 weeks ago.
SnowRunner, of course.
Now, I tell you what, SnowRunner is on an 80 on Metacritic.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, this person didn't agree.
No, this person really didn't agree. I've actually seen a few little bits of gameplay from it, and it does actually look quite funny. But I don't think it's meant to be funny. Anyway, next game. Literally sucks. What is this? Bloodborne? At least in Bloodborne, the AI is never 100% accurate, and at least I know where I'm going. And there is no way to heal besides killing another enemy? How can I kill an enemy when I am one shot away from death and the AI is 100% accurate? As soon as I leave cover, I die. Trash. Get good, 505.
I want to say my guess is going to be Doom Eternal, just because of like the having to kill stuff to get health and stuff like that. So I think it might
interesting.
Be Doom
I see where you're going. Okay, is that where you're going with?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. This game was from 2019.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, 2019.
How can I kill an enemy when I am one shot away from death and the AI is 100% accurate? As soon as I can leave a cover, I die. It's all in caps, that's why. Trash. Get good, 505.
I don't know.
This is a 0 out of 10 review for Control. 505 for the publishers.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course.
0 out of 10. Trash. It's a great word to describe a game, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's true as well, isn't it? For Control.
No. Right. Here we go. Next game. So you're 1 out of 3, but these are tricky. These games are always tricky, you know. Right. I think this game is really around a 3, but I'm giving it a 0 because of the overblown reviews, giving this game a 9 to 10 out of 10. If I was desperate for a shoot 'em up fanatic, then has no friends and no life and enjoyed playing a terrible mix of generic crap stolen from far better games over and over again just to collect the horrible substitutes of 360 achievements with nice graphics with poorly done attempt at making the protagonist an everyday hero to try and stand out from the other 100,000 shoot 'em up games made this year, such as legendary BioShock, then I would give this game an 8 out of 10. But then that's why there are so many poor shooting games out there, because any reviewer or gamer who would give this game above a 7 out of 10 has been played and will keep getting played by other poorly made shooting games until they pull their head out of their ass and figure out what is going on. The punctuation on this is a nightmare to read.
Oh.
Talks of shoot 'em up fanatics with no lives, generic crap stolen from far better games, poorly done attempts at making protagonists an everyday hero. Same year as the legendary BioShock.
Well, it came out in the same year.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
The legendary BioShock.
Oh man, when did BioShock come out? Like,
I'll give you a hint.
Was it like 2007?
2007. Yeah. Everyday heroes trying to stand out. Poor shooting.
Oh, I don't know. I was like Half-Life 2 around then as well. I can't remember. Was that before that?
Oh, I think that was a bit before.
Was that before?
Yeah.
I'm struggling.
I've made these tricky. Yeah, I have made these tricky.
2007.
2007, start of a new console generation. Launch game, I think.
Was it like a Resistance game?
Ooh, it's good. It's a good shout. Well, that was a launch game, I think.
Resistance 3 was it? No, I don't know. I know, struggling.
It was actually Resistance 1, by the way, a launch game.
Really?
But no, this
review,
however, was Uncharted Drake's Fortune.
Ah.
This person was severely unimpressed with Naughty Dog's first Uncharted outing.
Wow, no, that's a good game.
Yeah, good game.
I like it. I like the first Uncharted.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even when you go into like the Nazi boat bit, and then there's those weird like.
That was another 0 out of 10 review that I was going to read, but it mentioned the Nazis, and I thought that would give it away. Right. Okay. Last one. Okay. This one's worth double points though.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I went into this game with relatively low expectations. The first game was something special, something unique. I realised that it would be unfair going into this game expecting a game of greater quality than its predecessor. Yet, they have been handing out top-tier games for many years now. Ever since Baldur's Gate 2, it has been a never-ending line of quality writing and top-notch gameplay. This game has to be the odd one out, however. No more than a few hours in did the cracks begin to show. Giving the game the benefit of the doubt did nothing. I went into the dungeons, I let the dialogue play out, I gladly read the new codex entries and leapt into every single side quest. What was I met with? Disappointment, garbage, complete and utter surrender from the game developers' side. A weak storyline, flat dialogue, where the conversation choices slid between good, bad, and sarcastic. There is no way to say this nicely. When a game has been dumbed down, dissected, and stripped of originality, only to be rudely presented as a cash-in and a quote-unquote game of the year at the same time, I am left with two thoughts. The major game reviewers have been paid off, and this game is complete and utter garbage. 0 out of 10.
Oh, see, I can't remember who made Baldur's Gate. I see what I'm leaning to, though.
Okay.
I'm leaning to either like a Divinity game,
Okay.
possibly 2.
Okay.
Or I can't remember. I feel like Dragon Age, mate. I
Okay.
feel like Baldur's Gate might have been like, but then Dragon Age 2 was actually really bad. So I don't know if like. Unless it's like Inquisition, but then I don't know if there were dungeons in that.
Remember, they say that ever since Baldur's Gate 2, it's been never-ending line of quality writing and top-notch gameplay. This game, however, has to be the odd one out. So this is complete and utter garbage.
I'll say Dragon Age 2.
Well done. 2 points for you for that.
Is that right?
Yes.
Mate, I agree with that. No, I don't agree with it. I quite like... I know.
I quite like...
Dragon Age 2 is a game. Let's put it this way. I think there might be a gold trophy for finishing it.
7 out of 10.
I want to check that. You talk, I'll check.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I was actually just going to mention it. I did have one other little news piece that I wanted to mention. Just of a cool game.
Oh, cool.
Which had just recently they brought out a demo on Steam for it, but it is coming out to PS4 and Xbox One this year. A game called Ghost Runner. I don't know if you've seen anything about this. I
don't think so. Not sure it rings a bell.
No, yeah. So I've got a little small write up here, and part of it says, imagine this isn't from them. This is from a website. Imagine Mirror's Edge, but you're Genji from Overwatch, and you're escaping or perhaps breaking into a prison in a cyberpunk world, and voila, you've got Ghost Runner.
Okay.
So there's a bit of a trailer that you can play this demo on it, and a couple of the cool things are, so yeah, literally imagine you're a cyborg ninja playing Mirror's Edge in a cyberpunk world with guns and swords and stuff. Very flashy, very cool looking. But there's a couple of cool things like you've got a dash button, and apparently that's like the biggest thing about it is dashing and wall running and that kind of stuff. But your dash button, I think you can use it to dash, but then if you hold it, it will slow down time. So you can enter like a bullet mode whilst dashing and wall running and jumping and kind of running around with a sword. So I watched the trailer for it, and it looks pretty cool. It's another game from a studio in Poland, and kind of Eastern European studios seem to be kind of knocking it out of the park recently. So yeah, definitely one to kind of drop a pin in and see maybe later in the year if it comes to fruition.
I found out about Dragon Age 2's trophy, by the way.
Yes, talk to me.
Okay, right. Listen to this. I want your opinion on this. So the trophy's called Epic. Completed Dragon Age 2 twice.
What?
Or completed it once with a save imported from Dragon Age Origins.
What? That is mad. That is like the biggest middle finger to a new player I've ever seen. But understandable considering it is a continuation.
Kind of, yeah.
Not excusable, but understandable.
I don't know. I feel like it's one of those where it's like, yeah, you can get the gold trophy for this. Play it twice.
Yeah.
Play it twice, bitch. What's that? You didn't play our last game.
Fuck you. Play it twice. Commit at least 100 hours to this, please.
Oh man.
Wow, that is quite something.
That's a bold trophy, that is.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not down with that. That doesn't get my seal of approval.
Yeah, you wouldn't see a trophy like that anymore, would you? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine if Last of Us 2 had a trophy, like the gold trophy for it was like
complete it twice or import your save. That's also, by the way, on the topic of importing saves, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Fascinated to see how this continues into the next game. Whether you keep all your materia, your items, all of that. I assume you do, but how do they manage this if you move on to the next console?
I mean, what I would say is minor spoilers for Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
There is a character, party character called Yuffie, or Yuffie, I've heard people call her name. And one of the things that happens is when she joins your party, if you go to a specific place to do this side quest, if you do it like too early or at a specific point, she actually leaves the party and steals all of your materia. So you've got to complete the side quest to get her back and all your materia. So it'd be quite funny if they leave Midgar and then that's the beginning and that's how they kind of take all your material.
I'd be kind of into it.
Yeah, but then if it goes into a third game or something, I'm not really sure you can do that again.
yeah, for sure. Right, our main topic, which was the first look at next gen games, like our proper first look at next gen games, which was on the Xbox Series X live stream, which happened yesterday for us, so on the 7th of May. And Microsoft promised to show off a load of third-party games that were all running optimized for Xbox Series X. They're all running kind of in-engine, in-game for the Series X. So giving us our first proper look. Just as a high-level first thought, what did you think of it? It was about 30 minutes long.
Yeah. I kind of forgot and I missed like the first 5 minutes. So I had to like log in and shit. It just seemed kind of lame. Like, I don't know, none of the games stood out to me really, apart from maybe Assassin's Creed, and even the Assassin's Creed stuff they showed was it just wasn't what I was expecting. I think the problem was, I don't know if this was a fault on their end or a fault of like our end or someone else's fault, but I was expecting gameplay, and I honestly don't. I might be wrong in this. Did we see any gameplay at all?
So this is tricky, okay? And this gets straight into the meat of the biggest issue with this entire event. I feel very similar. I was very let down by this. I was actually quite excited to see this and to see some games being played. There was no, maybe on one of them, the game which was called The Ascent? No, Scarlet Nexus, which was the kind of anime type game from Bandai Namco.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe there was some gameplay, like that was actual gameplay and stuff. But pretty much all of the others were in-engine cutscenes. There was a bit from the first one, which I think you missed, was called Bright Memory Infinite, which that looked like it was actually gameplay, but a little bit suspect whether it was definitely actually gameplay. But it looked like it could have been. It was a guy running around with a gun, with ammo and everything, shooting people, and with a sword.
Okay.
And that
Could you see the HUD?
Yes, you saw HUDs and stuff like that. So that legit was, and that's actually probably one of the most standout moments of that event, was because also it's from a developer called FYQD Studio, which I'm fairly certain is actually only one person, and this game looked next gen. Like, it looked fully like ray tracing all over the place, effects going left, right, and center. Like, it looked very impressive visually. And it was a kind of cool concept of this kind of samurai sword with like, it was kind of like, imagine like Killzone Shadowfall mix with, again, similar kind of like Genji from Overwatch kind of type of thing. And you can like, it's similar to like Sekiro, where you've got that like hook that you can shoot into people and then fly into them. You can do that and stop time and then cut people in half and things like that. So it looked kind of cool. But that was the first thing out of all of them. And I think that was the big issue with this whole event, was that it was in-engine cutscenes for the vast majority. Like, maybe this is the graphics that we're actually going to see in the game. But play the games. Actually show us the games being played. The Assassin's Creed thing was billed as, see the first gameplay from Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And what we saw was an in-game cutscene, which potentially you could argue there was some actual gameplay of people walking across the screen. But there was no HUD, there was no actual gameplay. It was I don't know, it was false. It wasn't right. It wasn't what they said it was going to be in the slightest.
They even said, like, straight afterwards, when they did like the interview, the guy was like, so have we just seen our first like gameplay of Assassin's Creed? And the guy was like, yeah, everything we saw was in engine. And it was like, no, come on, that's not what we mean.
No. And I think... Yeah. Sorry, you go.
I was just a bit let down. I mean, the problem I had was I kind of like, obviously I forgot about it, so I joined it a bit late, and I was like, oh my gosh, what game is this? What is going on? There was a weird dinosaur thing going on. There was some... And it was nothing jumped out to me as something that I really want to play, which kind of bums me out, because obviously everything there is obviously third party, so probably will be on PlayStation as well, the PS5. And it was annoying because actually in the lead up to this, when Assassin's Creed Valhalla had been, we'd known that it was going to be Norse Vikings forever, but. Like the name when it was released, when they gave the first like trailer and details released, I was actually getting really excited because I've not played. I didn't play Odyssey. I didn't play Origins. I can't remember what the one was before that, but I think before Origins, it was like we were still in that dreadful era of like Syndicate and all those sort of Assassin's Creed games that they were churning out every year that were the same crap.
Yeah.
But and everyone says Odyssey and Origins are really good, but I just didn't want to jump into them because they seem so long.
Yeah.
And this, they were sort of saying like this is actually not quite as big. And set obviously mostly it seems to be like in old England, which is obviously where we're from, so it's kind of interesting. But I was getting kind of hyped for it actually, but then this reveal, I was like, man, I'd actually really like to see what the gameplay's like because I haven't seen Assassin's Creed gameplay properly for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah,
because I've just not played the last couple.
No, I totally agree with you. I also have. I loved Assassin's Creed 2, and I actually really enjoyed the entire 2 trilogy. Was it
the Ezio?
Yeah, the Ezio trilogy.
It was 2
Brotherhood and Revelations?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I think
right.
it's a trilogy. Yeah.
Right.
I really enjoyed the 2 trilogy. And since then, I've just not really been part of it because I just kind of, I don't know.
You played 4 though, right?
I played, Black Flag I really enjoyed as well. Actually, that's fair to say. And then I've just felt the formula was kind of the same almost.
Yeah, after 4. I mean, 3 was terrible as well, but 4, after 4 that I just kind of jumped off. I have played a bit of some of them, but not. Yeah,
and by all means, the last couple have been reviewed really well, and people talk highly of them. But I've just never wanted to commit to these mega 60-hour games where the basis isn't something that I enjoy, or potentially that enjoy. But the theme and then the location and stuff is right up my alley, and kind of we were saying together that both of us are really intrigued by this. And again, the trailer they showed was a cool trailer, but it was nothing more than that. I want to see, has this game gone further and moved past what I knew Assassin's Creed to be in its gameplay loops and how it plays and what you do for the whole game, or is it still the same thing, or is it different? So that was quite disappointing to not see gameplay. It's just straight up not gameplay. That's an in-engine cutscene is what that was. So I think, and I agree with you. I think the vast majority of the games that were shown there were like they will all have their audience, absolutely, but none of them jumped out to me as like, whoa, I can't wait to see this. I think the only one that was I found like vaguely that one person kind of shooter game was kind of cool, but mainly because it was the only one that looked next gen. All of the rest of them look like high-end Xbox One and PS4 games. This one you could see like I wouldn't expect that to run on a current console. The only other one was I think Call of the Sea, which was that one kind of like a pirate island, which again was not next gen looking, but it just looks intriguing because it was very colourful and quite a nice looking game in a location, and a bit more of a mystery. You're on an island and you're trying to find your husband, I think, but kind of set in piratey times, it seemed, potentially. So that looked quite interesting. But other than that, I don't know. Yeah, I agree. I thought it was very underwhelming as an overall event. And I think what I kind of wanted to ask you was, so we're probably, almost definitely going to get some sort of Sony event in the next month and a half to 2 months. So whether it's end of May, beginning of June, middle of June, I think there's a good chance we'll get something. But what I kind of was going to ask you was, what do you want to see from that then? Seeing as we've seen now, we're going to have another Xbox event in July, which is their first party studios, and I'm sure that will be a bigger affair with like Halo being shown off and stuff. Hopefully there will be gameplay with those things. But from Sony, which is rumored to be happening before that, what would you want to see then? From that?
I mean, I think they just need to come out with like the promise of what is going to come, even if we don't see too much. Like show us a little bit of Horizon, tease us about God of War, throw some teasers out there about what sort of the big first party things are going to be, because like that's sort of the thing that, and obviously we're on a PlayStation podcast, so we're going to be biased with it, but that's what Sony and PlayStation have got, like, that is more attractive than Xbox, is that they've got those big first party third person action games that Microsoft just don't really have.
Yeah.
So I think they just need to come out the gate swinging and saying, like, here's some Horizon 2, here's a Horizon 2 cinematic, off you go, have fun. Yeah. Here's a teaser about God of War 2. Here's, like, just trying to think now off the top of my head, but I know obviously Elden Ring is being done, but there's always talk about, like, another Bloodborne game. Maybe they talk about that Demon Souls remake, or So I just think that's what they've got to do. They've just got to come out strong, haven't they? And show games that are going to really excite people. That are kind of, maybe you throw in a couple of new IPs as well, but, like, I think you want to show off what has been really strong for you this go around on the PS4, Xbox One era.
Yeah, absolutely, and I totally agree. And I think it would also be, what I would love to see is, if it was an hour long event, let's just say they went for a slightly longer event this time, I would love to see a couple of those like 3-minute teaser trailers for some of those big games, and then for the games that are coming out in November when the console comes out, I would love to see, like, a 10-minute slice from two of those big games. Let's say Guerrilla Games have their kind of second studio working on a Killzone game again, or whether it's like a SOCOM reboot or something like that, like a first-person shooter thing.
It needs it. You need a first-person shooter.
Yeah, but if that's going to be a launch game, I want to see that game being played. I don't want just a cinematic on that. I want to see Guerrilla Games come out and be like, right, here's a new Killzone, or we've rebooted SOCOM for whatever reason. Here's 10 minutes of what you'll be able to play on launch. And also, by the way, here's a little sneak peek at Horizon 2, kind of.
Yeah.
That would be, I want to see what we're going to be playing at launch, and I want to actually see it. And I also, because of Sony's great staple of first-party studios, I want to see also what the future holds for them, because I think they've been quite good at, well, I don't know, people have different views on whether you like to have the long stretch of kind of teasing of a game for a long time, or whether you like it being announced and then 6 months you're going to be playing it. But I think Sony they've always been quite big into announcing things quite in advance and showing teasers and having a yearly trailer and stuff. And I would be surprised if they changed that. So I think it would be quite easy to imagine them showing off some of those staple exclusive games.
Yeah, for sure.
Excellent. Well, I think I don't know if there's anything more you wanted to talk about with regards to these events coming up or anything.
No, don't think so.
No? Cool. Perfect. Well, let's wrap this up then with the way we normally do in talking about bets. Now,
perfect.
I think last week we had a bet about Farming Simulator 2019, wasn't it?
Yeah, we did, because it's obviously PS
Plus.
Like, it's PS Plus. That's it, free game. So I've got Twitch laid up. We said we were going to guess how many people are watching Farming Simulator 19.
Can you remind me of what I said?
Yeah, so I said 71, and then you said like 43, 40 or something like that. It was 40 something. I know you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got Twitch open.
Yeah.
Now,
we have really lowballed these numbers.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Right, listen to this. Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
Batman Arkham Knight, Borderlands 3, Resident Evil 3, The Witcher 3, Bloodborne, Doom Eternal, there was something else big, Last of Us, all have less current viewers than Farming Simulator 19. Farming Simulator 19 currently has 1.9k people watching it. Now, I've searched as well. Farming Simulator 20, apparently you just can't get on like PlayStation or anything at the moment. Like, it's out. It's out on Switch.
Oh wow!
I don't really understand what's going on with that game, but it's nowhere on Twitch at all.
Okay.
So yeah, I think I win. Basically, I did go with the higher number.
I think by default, yeah, you win. Wow, That's really surprised me. But you know what? People do love to farm.
Yeah, people do be farming, and I'm pretty sure that means that we are all
level pegging. Yeah,
30-30.
Wow.
Hufflepuff bringing it back. Appreciate
these last couple of months. The last couple of episodes have been pretty tricky for me, but
yeah,
I'm committed to sorting this out moving forward.
Lockdown's getting to you a little bit. Gryffindor not dealing well.
Yeah. Right, we've got another bet then, obviously, and this is going to be this is I think maybe the first time we could have no points because this is going to be specific. This bet. So what we're going to be looking at is we're going to bet what is the new game being announced by Jeff Keighley on the 12th of May. Okay. Now, the way I'm feeling it, have you got a game in mind at all?
Yeah, I do, but I can. I'll go second if you want.
Well, I was so say what yours is.
I was just going to say the Warner Bros. Batman. Just gonna do it.
Okay.
Why not?
Very interesting you say that because I was going to go with Rocksteady's new game. So I like it. I like his duality.
No chance.
I like it. No, Jeff Keighley's going to pull it out of the hat. Okay, he is going to have Rocksteady there, May 12th, ready to talk about their next game. Guarantee.
Right. The reason that I disagree with you is that I think you'd advertise what it is, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you say like, "Oh, Rocksteady are revealing then"? Because I feel like you get more people watching.
Nah, this is surprise though. This is Jeff,
I think
the big man in the industry.
We've both gone with kind of big games. I think this is going to be a little bit disappointing.
Oh yeah.
Because I think if it was something amazing, if it's something massive, like I feel like they would say, "Oh, by the way, Rocksteady." Rocksteady.
But you know what? It's fun. It's fun to live in a dream world.
Yeah.
Right. So I've gone with Rocksteady's new game. You've gone with Warner Bros. New Batman game.
I've specifically said Batman. Yeah. So
okay. Well, that's why I couldn't peg down what Rocksteady is going to be. So I've just said Rocksteady are going to announce a new game.
That's cool. That's fine.
Okay. Cool. That is locked in, and we will find out the next time we record what that is. So I think that about does it for us. Chris, where can you find us?
You can find us all over the internet. You can find us at our website, indreamsclub.com. You can find us on Twitter, which is just at indreamsclub. Give us a follow.
Absolutely.
I tweet out stuff about the podcast we do. You can find us on our TV and movie podcast, Realize.
Soon.
We've just looked at things.
Soon there will be new stuff coming.
Yeah, our most recent one as of recording is we're looking at things we've been watching over lockdown, but we will be watching Batman Begins and recording over the coming weekend, so look out for that pretty soon.
The fire rises.
There might be another potential.
Yeah,
that we might be watching.
My little surprise, a little sticky surprise.
Why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's it.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Chris, as always, for joining me. And I look forward to next time when I get those 10 points. Bye. Hello and welcome to Bomb Squad and In Dreams PlayStation fuck you.
In Dreams PlayStation
Club.
Fuck you.
Hello and welcome to Bomb Squad, your incel PlayStation podcast. Hello and welcome to Bomb Squad, the Simpcast PlayStation podcast. Get ready for all your sexual adventures. Don't edit that at the end.
Yeah, that's definitely